Hello, everyone. This is Marie Manucherry. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the veil that surrounds the planet Earth. It's this beautiful membrane. It looks like a placenta to me from my psychic vision. Surrounds the entire planet, probably a little outside of the Earth's atmosphere. So it's not like directly hugging the planet. There's space between the multisensory worlds and Earth, and then this stunning membrane or veil that surrounds our planet. And it thins for individuals as they become more conscious, but it also thins during certain times, like right now. Today is June 10th. We are in the middle of a solar eclipse in the sign of Gemini, and the veil is thin. You might feel it. It kind of feels like deja vu all day long, or just almost as if your bearings are a little off. You might feel a little confused, lightheaded. You could feel like the world is very full, even if you're by yourself. There's when the veils are thin, it just feels like there's so much more activity. There's so many more beings present. And the other beings are always present, but humans don't always feel the interaction with others, with non-physical realities, unless the veil has thinned above their head. So as an individual becomes more conscious, the veil naturally thins above a person's head, obviously way outside of the Earth atmosphere, so that your seventh vortex can move through and you can more readily communicate with your higher self. So every human being has a higher self. It's a part of who they are. It's a part of themselves that is eternally more conscious than the human version of ourselves. And you really want to have access to your higher self so you can get information whenever you need. And today is the day to really allow that to happen. Really, over the next week, I think the energies will be very profound. In astrology, they believe it's 6 months before an eclipse, but really 6 months after an eclipse, where things could be resolved. You can gain higher levels of consciousness. So the veil's thin. You don't have to do anything about it. It's just naturally thin right now. Your higher self is always with you all the time. So it's not like you have to call in your higher self. It's always there and available to you. Most human beings, though, don't try to connect, or don't know that they have a higher self, or feel like it's just too complicated, because in order to allow yourself to have a connection that is conscious for you while you're in the physical realm to your higher self, your vibration needs to be elevated. But when the veil is thin, you don't have to do anything. It's really there. Well, there's one thing you need to do. You need to quiet your mind. So a question you could be asking yourself throughout the day or over this next week or forever, because that would be ideal when the veil goes back to being thicker, you could thin it above your head so that you can have this continued conscious awareness of your higher self. And that comes from having a higher frequency. But today, your frequency doesn't even have to be that high, because the veil is thin for all of humanity. The question I think you could ask yourself, so you could quiet your mind, which allows you to have this, present, wonderful relationship with your higher self, is to ask yourself throughout the day, are my current thoughts fulfilling? Are my current thoughts satisfying? When you ask that question, you start to filter out the mundane, unnecessary thoughts that most people engage in throughout the day that are actually low frequency, low vibration. And your higher self doesn't communicate in that realm anyway. So if you can take those thoughts away, if you can filter them out, and by asking that question, you do start to filter them out. You go, no, that thought is not comfortable. I don't like that thought. And then you can invite a different thought into your mind, which is going to raise your frequency. But today, with the veil being so thin, once you ask that question, then you can ask important questions of your higher self, like, what would be in my highest good from this amazing moment of a very thin veil during this eclipse? What is in my highest good about certain really important concepts for you, like relationships or love, money, career? Ask these really cool questions today and over the next week, because the veil is extremely thin. And not every eclipse offers this much thinning. This eclipse, this solar eclipse in Gemini, has some interesting configurations that has made the veil super thin, which can also be a little uncomfortable. If you've got stuff that you haven't been dealing with, it could come up during this time period because you and your higher self are so linked in, and quieting your mind will allow you to get the information and the inspiration to make different choices, to move forward, to let go of very old, highly unnecessary perceptions that are not giving you what you really need. And what you really want and what you really need in this lifetime is to feel that you're the master of your own destiny, that you are an incredible manifester, which you are, and learning the ins and outs of how to do that in the physical reality. And one of the first things to do is to learn to manage your beautiful mind. It's a gorgeous mind, but it actually doesn't know what's really going on. Your higher self knows. Let your brain do what it was created to do, solve linear problems, like making sure that you eat food today and that you slept well and you put on the right type of clothing for the weather where you live, that you put the right gas in your car if you're driving your car, took your dog for a walk, you called people that you need to call for important arrangements. But that's all the brain is for. It cannot tell you what your intelligent, incredible genius gifts are in. It cannot tell you who would be the best important lover in your life or the best important friends, or how to heal your body. All of those subject matters you do have the answers for. They're not hidden, but they are hidden away in your higher self, which is a dear, wonderful, high frequency vibrational expression of you, a very wise, older aspect of you. And not all of your awareness comes down to earth when you reincarnate. A lot of it stays up in the higher self, in the afterlife, if you will. Because if you brought all of your awareness down to earth, you might go a little bit cuckoo in this very low vibrational time-space reality. So those answers are available. Now is the time to really ask these questions and manage your mind so that you can hear answers, so you can feel the inspiration, so you can take the perfect next action. I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.